Hey, welcome to Man Kitchen Recipes. I'm Kevin, and that is right. I made some beef back ribs in the oven. Look at that. Oh my. Yeah, we got a few shiners here on the longer bones. But you know, I mean, it's a different way of cooking than on a pellet grill. So let me show you how I made these. Don't they look good? And I'll cut into them, and we'll come back and we'll do a taste test. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay, so while I prepare the beef back ribs, I've got my oven starting up to 275 degrees. And these are beef back ribs. These aren't the ribs you find in, Walmart, those little half bone things. They got quite a bit of good meat on them. If you have a Costco nearby, there's a good chance Costco has them. I haven't seen them, there's my oven. I haven't seen them at my local Sam's Club, but one day they might have them. Anyway, I like, people will tell you not to take the membrane off the back of beef ribs and just to score them. Well, I like to take them off if they come off easy enough. And sometimes you can just get a butter knife underneath one of the bones and it'll come up, and it should get your finger in there, work your way under, and they should come off. Not quite as easy as baby back ribs, but it'll come off. Everybody says, oh, the ribs will fall off the bones. Well, you're going to eat them off the bone anyway. If you can't get a hold of the membrane, you can use a paper towel. It helps you get a good grip on it. And it's that easy. I mean, do you really want to eat this stuff? Okay, so we're going to discard that. The next thing you want to do is you want to put some rub on it. You can make your own. You can put salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, paprika, mix it up. That makes a good rub. Or if you have a Walmart nearby, most Walmarts carry this Killer Hogs Texas brisket rub. I really love this on beef ribs. And then I mix together my own salt, pepper, garlic, and a spice to make it a spicy salt, pepper, garlic, Spicy SPG. And yeah, you just want to layer it on there. I'm going to put the brisket rub down first. And then I'm going to put my spicy. I'm going to have to make some more. I'm running out. Okay, I'm going to do the top side as well. Okay, and that's all it is to put some rub onto your ribs. It just gives it more flavor. And you don't have to be precise. Beef ribs can take a lot of seasoning. Okay, next thing we're going to do is I've got a foil-lined baking sheet. You want to make sure your foil is big enough to fit your baking sheet, and your baking sheet is big enough to fit your ribs. I use this heavy-duty foil, and it's the large, long box because this is going to collect grease. And it helps with cleanup, and if you have two pieces, the grease can get underneath. I'm going to put my ribs on here, meat side down. See, these are some pretty big ribs. That's why I have a pretty good sized cookie sheet. And then you want to cover it. And you're going to say goodbye to this for 4 hours. Yep, 4 hours at 275 degrees. You do not want to check it. Just trust in the recipe here. Make sure you get a nice good seal on there. If you open it before your 4 hours, you're going to let some of the steam out, and while you're braising this beef, you don't want to do that. So 4 hours, 275 degrees. Let's get these in the oven. Right, it's been 4 hours. Haven't looked at it at all. I'm going to take it out, and then I'm going to set the oven to broil. We're going to uncover these ribs, sauce them up, put them back in. So check this out. All right, let's see what they look like. Oh, look at that pullback. Oh boy. All right, so since we didn't put this in a pellet grill or a smoker, I got this Sweet Baby Ray's Hickory and brown sugar barbecue sauce. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit on the back here. Boy, these things are very tender. I can tell already. These bones are moving. Now, if you can take the heat, try to get these ribs turned over. Oh, they are very, very tender. So I'm going to get them turned over. Yeah, look at that. The bones are already coming through. These tender ribs never hurt anybody. Get that hickory barbecue sauce on there. When we do this in the pellet grill, when these bones shine, well, we're calling them shiners. So I'm going to get that sauce on the bones. Yeah, we'll get some down here on the ends. While we're waiting for the oven to heat up, you can either dump this oil. A lot of times I'll just get some paper towels, try to get some of it out, but it doesn't really matter because your bone sides are down and the meat is going this way. But if you can get some out, that'll just help later when you're moving it around and cleaning it up. Go in there for 5 minutes. What that'll do is it'll firm up those ribs and make that barbecue sauce a little tacky. So I'll be back in 5 minutes, or in a second. 5 minutes. Ooh, that's hot. Look at that. Look at that. We're going to let these rest for about 5 or 10 minutes. They're a little on the warm side right now. I'll be back in a second. We got them all cut up. They're nice and tender, very tender. You know, fall off the bone, right? So, you know, instead of doing these in the pellet grill, these were pretty much braised for 4 hours. And when they're done braising, that's where you get that pullback on the bone and you get those shiners on the top. But that's all right. I mean, the meat is going to be delicious. You don't eat the bones, right? So, you know, if you don't have a pellet grill, if you don't have a grill, if you live in an apartment where they don't allow them, I mean, you can still make beef ribs in your oven. And like we just did, right? And you could probably go, if you don't want them totally fall off the bone, you could probably go 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I went 4. I wanted to make sure they were completely rendered, tender. And I used the Hickory barbecue, Sweet Baby Ray's Hickory barbecue sauce. The Hickory to kind of give it a little bit of that smoky flavor. Let's just take a taste, right? Mmm. That is really good. Very tender. I mean, you don't get the you don't quite get the bark and everything you do when you smoke it in a pellet grill, but I'll tell you what, nobody's going to complain about eating these. So like I said, if you're in a place where you can't use a pellet grill or a offset or any kind of a smoker, propane grill, apartments, condos, restricted areas, bake them in the oven. All right, thanks for checking this out. Give these a try, even if you have a pellet grill. I think you might be pleasantly surprised. All right, hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.